How's it hanging with all of you in the Horde? My name's Ryujin3838 and I am back with another episode in our Overwatch 2 Legendary Skin Ranking series. Today we're going to be looking at all of the legendary outfits for one of my favorite characters, Lucio. Before we jump in, I just want to say how amazing it's been to see all the love from you guys with my return to YouTube and with the Destiny 2 video. I'm so glad to be back on here and making more content for you guys. I also want to put a disclaimer here really quickly and just say that however I end up ranking all of these skins, it is all my own opinion, so please don't take anything I say seriously because the opinion of one person shouldn't influence your own. Last thing before we get into this ranking, remember to leave a comment down below with which characters' skins you'd like to see get ranked next, because this series is ultimately decided by you, the viewers out there. Next time we do one of these, we'll be ranking a damage character, so if there's someone in particular you'd like to see, make sure you say something, or otherwise I pick the character we rank. With all of that said, let's go ahead and take a look at all of Lucio's legendary skins in Overwatch 2. Also, before we get further in this video, I just want to say if you're enjoying the content and you haven't already, I would greatly appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button for this channel. I want to try to hit 100 subs by the end of 2023. Would love this channel to keep growing, would love 100 subs. Thanks for subbing if you did, let's get on with the video. As always with this series, we're going to give our honorable mention skin the spotlight for a brief moment before the ranking begins. Lucio's got plenty of epic skins of his own, but by far my favorite has got to be his Winter Wonderland event skin, Andes. This is definitely one of Lucio's classic outfits, and when the holidays roll around you already know so many Lucio mains are going to be wearing this. I love the color scheme on Andes, and yeah, as if I don't talk about it enough, teal and lots of bluish green colors are my favorite colors, so it's quite a shocker that I like this skin so much. The Santa hat is also a nice touch, and that they kept it the same color as the rest of the skin and didn't just leave it a red or green color like most Christmassy things are. I get that the skin is nowhere near legendary quality since it's a basic Lucio skin recolor with a Santa hat on top, but it's honestly the only Lucio epic skin I'd ever use. I want to preface this list by saying I do not think there is a single Lucio skin that I absolutely hate. Lucio's skin catalog is very broad, and it's kind of shocking to me that he doesn't really have a skin I look at and go, that sucks. That being said, this skin sucks. The worst Lucio skin, in my opinion, goes to the Overwatch 1 base legendary Breakaway. I think Breakaway is the most bland and generic outfit Lucio possesses. Breakaway is just a regular old hockey uniform, and that's about it. I love hockey. It's one of my favorite sports. But this skin is nothing more than a simple uniform. The purple highlights are at least a nice touch, and make the outfit seem less generic and boring, but it doesn't save this skin. Taking a look at the gun here, it's just a recolor of the basic Overwatch 1 Lucio gun, so it also isn't really anything special. Comparing this to the other Lucio skins, it doesn't stand out whatsoever, and fits super easily into the background. There's not really much for me to say about the skin because of how basic it is. It's a hockey uniform. That's all it is. There are plenty more Lucio skins to go through that are very unique, crazy looking, cool, and overall just have a better look to them. Trying to debate a skin like Breakaway with any other Lucio skin is like having a debate with a brick wall. I'm sorry, Breakaway, but the puck stops here. That was a shitty pun. I'm even more sorry I said that. Please don't click off the video. I promise it's gonna get better. In 16th place on my ranking, following the footsteps of Breakaway, we have the Summer Games skin Striker. This is really just another basic sports uniform, and I'm very aware Lucio has many sports-themed skins, but this one is just basic, like Breakaway. It's almost entirely white. It's got some blue primarily on its boots that you can see right here, and then it's got hints of red and some green sprinkled throughout the rest of it. The weapon is once more a recolor of Overwatch 1 Lucio's gun, so there's not much to say about that either. I get that this skin matches the theme of Overwatch's Summer Games. I mean, it's even got the Summer Games logo on the headband, and it's covered here, but it's also on the chest and his shoulder. But why would you want to wear this outfit at all? When you've got Celesao sitting right here! Both of these skins are the exact same, but with different colors. And if we're being totally honest, Celesao is a nice legendary skin. and Striker is just a bland recolor of it. I've genuinely never even seen somebody use Striker in-game, and I've been playing since 2016. And not to sound like a broken record, you know, but that makes so much sense to me. Because Selasau is sitting right there! There's a small part of me that really despises the fact that these 3 skins are on the bottom of my list, but I'll get to why in just a second here. Anyways, 15th place on my ranking goes to the counterpart to Breakaway, Slapshot. So, the reason I hate that these 3 skins are at the bottom of the barrel for me is because they're all sports themed. It's so bizarre and stupid to me that Lucio has a pretty decent number of sports themed outfits, and out of the like 5 or 4 or whatever he has, 3 of them are the worst Lucio skins in my opinion. But I digress. Here's what I think about Slapshot. It's a blue hockey uniform. I like it more than Breakaway, mostly because it's blue. I like that the helmet from Breakaway is gone and you can see his hair better. I like that the outfit is not solid black and is instead a solid color other than black. This is just Breakaway but slightly better, yet it's still bland as hell. Can you tell how bored I am looking at this skin yet?
Why are you so angry?
Looking at this skin from the front, it actually seems pretty cool. Then you take a bit of a closer look and realize what exactly is wrong with it. You see it too, right? 14th place gets taken by Snow Fox, a Winter Wonderland event legendary. Let's just go ahead and cut to the chase. This hair sucks. Why does he have frosted tips? Why is his hair even dyed like that? Why are the frosted tips barely even noticeable? Like his hair went from gray here to a literally darker shade of gray on the tips. If you're going to get frosted tips, why go with an actual hair color when you can just go crazy and pick literally anything in the rainbow? Wouldn't you want the frosted tips to be noticed by people? It's kind of just a dumb hair color choice to me. On top of that, it's very obvious that there's some subtle furry bait in this skin. I mean, come on, there's random tufts of white fur here. His helmet has, like, cat ear headphones attached to them. And then, of course, the hair kind of looks like a wolf tail. The skin is literally called Snow Fox, right? Like, I'm not the only one thinking this, right? Let me be clear really quickly, too. I personally don't care if you are a furry. I know people who are furries. You be whoever you want to be. Hell, my channel's persona looks kind of like furry bait, even though I'm not a furry at all. I just thought it was a cool design, but people look at my character and think this guy's probably a furry, and that's totally fair, because it does look kind of furry-ish. I just think that on Lucio, it's kinda weird. Like, you either just fully buy into it and make his outfit a fursuit, or you don't. If you want to make furry Lucio, make furry Lucio. Don't just half-ass it and imply he's a furry. Do it, you cowards! Anyways, sorry about the whole furry tangent there. Back to the skin. The ice armor's cool, and that's about it. Moving on. Believe it or not, I had a tougher time collecting my thoughts about this skin more than most others on this list. Coming in at 13th place on my ranking is the Lunar New Year event legendary Samuel Nori. To me, Samuel Nori is just kind of mid. I am glad there is a Lunar New Year skin for Lucio that gives representation towards that community, and that Overwatch as a whole is a very representative community when it comes to people's identities and backgrounds. I just don't feel anything when I look at this skin. Maybe it could be because I don't personally celebrate the Lunar New Year, and if you do and you love this skin, by all means. I just think Lucio has better skins than Samuel Nori, and it's just a very neutral look to me. I don't dislike it, but I'm also not a big fan of it either. I guess the only real criticism that I have for it is that I'm not a big fan of this really long ribbon going down his back. It glows bright green and clashes with the rest of the outfit, and the only thing it really matches are the skates, which is like Lucio's basic color. So it makes sense why it's this color. I just think it would look better if it was something else to match the rest of this outfit. A great representation, but when trying to rank all the skins, I personally wouldn't put it very high. I actually forgot that this skin existed when I was making this list. It wasn't the only one, but I play Lucio a lot, so the fact I forgot any of his skins kind of upsets me. Anyway, 12th place is Lucio's Capoeira skin. Like Samuel Nori, I think this is a great representation of Lucio's Brazilian heritage, but compared to the rest of this list, I just find it very bland. I like the drums he's got on his legs here and the wooden elements, but besides that, there's nothing in particular that really stands out to me. It looks to be what I would assume a Brazilian or Southern American inspired outfit, and that's really cool, but it just doesn't say anything to me. And like I said with Samuel Nori, if it speaks to you, that's great. The same goes for any of the skins on any of my rankings. I just make these to speak my opinion because I'm a big fan of Overwatch. Capoeira is cool, but I think there are better skins in the game. It just looks like Lucio in a very casual outfit, which is fine, but there are other fits I personally would wear. I really shouldn't have been surprised at first that they gave the musician a bard outfit for the roleplay season. Taking 11th place on my ranking is the newly released bard legendary outfit. I like the look of this skin, but when I was making this list, I didn't see a skin I really disliked, so it made ranking these a little bit harder. Bard is an okay skin to me, and as someone who's a big fan of things like RPGs and D&D and other such roleplay games, I think it's awesome. However, the skin's placement once again comes down to the fact that there are just skins I like more. This one in particular doesn't have anything I don't like, but it also doesn't have anything that I look at and go, yes, that's awesome. It's a nice bard outfit. It fits Lucio's role as a musician and as a support class hero. The, like, guitars, I guess, here, is that what they are? Like, what's the other... There's like another name for it that I can't think of, but they're cool, I guess. It's just another neutral fit to me. I didn't think I liked this skin that much, but whatever. Breaking into the top 10 is Lucio's base legendary skin, Ribbit. This design is definitely one of Lucio's most popular, so it makes sense why there's 3 different iterations of it. To me, though, Ribbit is the worst of those 3. The way this design is made, the skin comes down to having 2 default colors in a sense. In this case, those colors being neon green and silver. The neon green, of course, fits with Lucio's own themes, but apart from that, there's nothing else I particularly like about this design. The thing I dislike the most is probably these random bits of orange and white here on the gun, because they don't really match with anything else, except for these random bits of orange and white here on the backpack on the skin. Like, it would have just been better if they made it silver and didn't have these random orange patches. I do like the overall design and look for this skin, regardless of this version being my least favorite. It's honestly why I ended up putting it as high on the list as I did. However, the other 2 versions of this skin are better to me, yet I still see Ribbit used very frequently in-game. I harbor some bias towards this next skin, so if you don't like it, blame my brain for being tricked into liking it. Flying into 9th place, we have the Hermes shop skin from Season 2 of Overwatch 2. I honestly think I was bamboozled into giving this skin more credit than it deserves, and it's entirely because of this mask. I think it would look better if we could just see Lucio's face instead of this silver covering. I also find the basic tunic he wears to be kinda lame. There's clearly some armor underneath it, and I would have loved to see a full armor Lucio running around the map like the speed demon he is. You may be asking yourself though, why do you say you got bamboozled into liking this skin when you clearly don't? You're complaining about it a bunch right now.
Wow.
Back in Season 2, when Overwatch dropped the seasonal event Battle for Olympus, I went ahead and bought this skin. Why'd you buy it if you don't like it? The same reason every main of a certain character collects all their shit anyway. Because they enjoy the character so much that they'll buy every piece of merch. Anyway, I decided to make a video covering the Battle for Olympus game mode. Not because I wanted to please the algorithm or anything, totally wasn't trying to do that. It was because this mode was ass. I thought that was funny, really, until I tried it for myself and realized that was true. It is in fact ass. And stupid. The rewards weren't impossible to get, but you had to play the game mode for basically the entire session you were logged on to get any of them. and for the sake of my video, I played it for the full 2 weeks it was out, and I decided I wanted to try and earn the rewards for Lucio, the only playable support in the entire mode, and as a support main, I thought that that was a worthy cause. I also did it to try and show my support for my fellow Lucio mains, to try and get Lucio to the top of the leaderboards so he could get a statue of himself on Ilios, which he eventually lost. The Junker Queen. I mean, I would have even taken a hog statue. Like, come on. Seriously? You're gonna give a statue to Junker Queen and put it on the most famous Lucio map in the entire game? After all the work the Lucio mains and all those Redditors did? Not to mention, they didn't fucking count environmental kills for the leaderboard, which is like the most fun and best way to get kills with Lucio. Like, that's so stupid. Fuck off. So yeah, I got tricked into this skin in general by the allure of getting a Lucio statue. And this skin was the default outfit that Lucio wore whenever you played the event. And I noticed over time, I disliked it less and less, because I got tricked into playing the shittiest game mode of Overwatch 2 for 2 weeks straight. Just to make my suffering feel worthy, I'm putting it here, don't even at me. Now, here is a good Lucio legendary skin that I don't feel guilty about liking whatsoever. 8th place goes to Slapshot, the best summer game skin Lucio has. Sure, it may just be another basic sports outfit, but at least it's got style. It's not bland, in fact, it's cool, and any Lucio player will wear this in a heartbeat the second they get into a game of Lucio Ball. Still, though, I like the rest of the skins on this list more than Slapshot because at the end of the day, it's still just a soccer jersey. It's definitely a classic, for sure, and that's probably one of the reasons I put it up this high on my ranking. It's still just a soccer jersey though, and there are skins I like more. Another classic legendary, in 7th place we have the Hippity Hop skin. This is my second favorite of the 3 different versions the skin has. I like the choice to have the gold and silver paired together here for the face. The gold suit overall is really cool, and the silver eyes right here are a nice touch that harks back to Ribbit, where the eyes and other bits of the skin were more recognizable by having a much different color placed there. Where this skin loses me a bit, though, is the black armored legs here. I think it would have been a better choice to have the leg armor be either gold with silver highlights, or to just have the overall skin be gold with black highlights. The silver only really being for the eyes is a bit of a letdown, because I'm sure it would look way cooler with more silver present on the skin, instead of just using it once and then using black for the rest. Still a solid skin, but because of that, I'm placing it here on the list. Okay, this skin is smooth as fuck. Let's talk about it. In 6th place, we have a Battle Pass skin from Season 4 of Overwatch 2, Space Prince Lucio. This is a super fly outfit, and I love that it went to someone as generally swag as Lucio is. For starters, I really like all the little sparkles he has all over the outfit, and I think the gold and cream was a really nice color combination to use, especially like here on all the metal bits and the boots. I'm even a big fan of all this purple here on the outfit, even though it doesn't really look like it fits that much. I also am a big fan of Lucio's hair here. I think he looks very cool. Lastly, one of my favorite parts is the green here on the boots that's a bit desaturated, which comes into play very heavily with the gun. If this skin was smooth as fuck, then I don't even know what words I can use to say how much cooler this gun is. The glowing green crystal with these little sparkly particle effects, the chains, like the crystal here in the middle and the actual look of the gun, like everything about this is so amazing. This is a very swag Lucio skin, and it also makes sense that this was the skin they gave the moonwalk emote with.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Finally, we have arrived at the top 5, and kicking it off, we have the Archives event skin, Equalizer. There's a lot of design choices here that I think are really neat, and the best part is that all of them are just designs that are slightly different from base Lucio from Overwatch 1. For starters, the skates are pretty identical to the regular Lucio skates, only this time they're tricked out rollerblades and they're this yellowy orange instead of blue, which I honestly think look better with these rollerblade wheels. The Equalizer bars on the pants are also a nice touch, and it's obviously where the skin gets its name from, so it makes what would otherwise be a regular old pair of pants look pretty outstanding, as well as matching with Lucio's character. I'm also a big fan of how much longer and thicker his dreadlocks are and how they go down past his shoulders. Lastly, the tattoos that are on his arms and chest that kind of act as sleeves are a really, really cool addition. Overall, it's a solid skin that gives a flashback to Lucio's early days, good from an outfit standpoint as well as a lore standpoint. This is by far Lucio's most unique legendary in my opinion, so taking 4th place we have his Halloween Terror event skin, Satyr. When looking at Lucio's other skins, most of them seem pretty upbeat. They don't give off any sort of evil look or vibe or anything like that, which is why giving Lucio a satanic goat skin is a really fun and interesting idea. Personally, I'm a big fan of this kind of aesthetic. I love all things hell and demon inspired, and the skin is just badass. It definitely subverts the expectation as a Lucio skin, but it does it in a good way. Like, if you were watching this video and you had no idea what any of Lucio's skins looked like, I can make a solid bet you didn't expect a skin like this, especially after all the other ones we've covered so far. I even purposefully left this skin off the thumbnail for this video, because it's just so surprising to see a skin like this compared to everything else Lucio wears. To cover some of the particular things that I enjoy on the skin, I like the steel ram skull skates that he has with the glowing horns. The spiky armor on his legs and his little sleeves here is a nice touch. I really enjoy this hidden skull on his back here that just also adds to the more demonic themes. These red, like, tattoos or maybe even exposed muscle that glow a bit are really interesting, especially because if you look at the ones on the shoulders, they kind of resemble demons from, like, Diablo 4 or something, which is just a really nice callback to other Blizzard properties, as well as a cool and interesting design choice. I like how his hair is changed slightly to kind of resemble a flail or a whip with these ropes, sort of, with the little spikes on the end. But my favorite part has got to be his face. I really like how his eyes are entirely, like, turned red and look kind of blood-filled or something, maybe? I don't know, like, it looks a bit unnatural, and that's really cool, because that's what this skin is going for, on top of having more glowing horns on his head to make him look more sinister. My favorite part of this skin, though, has got to be the gun, because they replaced the main body of his weapon with an entire ram skull, which is just badass. I also like how they replaced the speakers that normally go on this part of the gun with just, like, these demonic symbol rings or whatever. Like, that's just a nice detail, because normally there's just a regular speaker there and they don't change that. I will say the one thing that I think this would make this skin better is if the glowing green skates here were replaced with red. I get that the glowing green is, like, Lucio's basic color, and as well as, like, glowing yellow a bit too when he switches to heal mode, but I think it would just be nicer if these colors matched the skins that he wore. I get that these are base colors and that's just part of the character, and it makes sense why it shows up so often, but, like, you can't tell me it wouldn't look better with a matching color scheme. Like, some people have commented on my previous rankings, especially my Zenyatta one, that the blue on the background of Zenyatta's orbs makes sense because it's just his base color, and that's why it's on everything, and it's not that bad, but it would just be so much nicer if they matched the skins. Like, could you imagine how hard this skin would go if the red that was on these little, like, tattoo or muscles here was on these crystals and on the gun? That would just be so much more aesthetically pleasing. This is a solid 8 or 9 out of 10 skin, and that's the only thing I think would make it better, is if it had more red instead of green.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the friggin' frogs gay. Serious crap.
This takes the cake for the best of this skin archetype, no questions asked. Number 3 on the ranking goes to the Anniversary Remix event skin, Poison Dart. Now, I've always thought Poison Dart frogs are pretty cool, especially because you don't see a whole lot of blue in nature. And by that I mean living things in nature. I get that the sky and the ocean are blue, but what blue plants or animals do you see that are just made like that? You got blueberries, which are honestly more purple, and poison dart frogs. and then like 3 other things. That said, I think making this a blue recolor to reference one of the most swag frogs to ever exist was an excellent choice. On top of being a swag frog, this recolor really takes the best elements of the prior 2 designs and puts them to much better use. The glowing green that was all over Ribbit is still present here, and it actually fits, unlike with Hippity Hop where they had black and only silver on the eyes. Speaking of Hippity Hop though, Poison Dart actually keeps the black leg armor that was on Hippity Hop, but it actually makes sense this time because the recolor here utilizes blue and black as its main color scheme, so it doesn't look out of place compared to Hippity Hop. All these details combined really make for one of the most sick Lucio skins to ever skate across the face of the earth, and I just don't think there's anything that really tops that. Except for these next 2 skins.
Amazing! Never back down, never give up.
Lucio never stops dropping absolute bangers, both musically and style-wise. So coming in at 2nd place, we have his anniversary skin, Jazzy. The amount of detail on this skin is staggering. There are so many different valves and horns and like bits of instruments that all look very cool, and yet they all fit together seamlessly too. Like, it doesn't look like anything is truly out of place, despite how many different pieces there are all over this skin. Looking past his instrumental armor, his suit is very classy, and it's got a matching hat and glasses to boot, and I also love what they did with his hair here. The gun isn't anything particularly special, although one detail I do think is pretty interesting is that the little green square at the back has been replaced with what looks like an instrument tuner of some kind, which is just a nice little detail. The best part of the skin, however, is actually only viewable in-game, because when you switch between his heal mode and speed mode, the music for both of those is replaced with some really smooth jazz. Jazzy is an instant classic Lucio skin, and I used to wear it for years back on Overwatch 1, because I honestly never thought there would be another Lucio skin that I liked more than this one. That is until 2019 rolled around. I remember seeing this skin back in 2019, thinking it was so incredible, and then I never bought it until Overwatch 2, so I honestly can't believe my former self didn't try to get it all those years ago. My number 1 Lucio Legendary and my favorite Lucio skin has got to be the Overwatch League's exclusive 2019 Pacific AllStar skin, which is a mouthful to say. Let's be real here, this skin goes absolutely crazy. It's so sleek and clean, and yet there's so much you can look at and not get tired of. These legs have very smooth armor with the little gold trim on the knee pads and the boots, or whatever you want to call them, skates. But then the armor in between the knee pads and the skates here is actually banded if you look at it close enough. I really like this black armor that make up the legs and also part of the sleeves here. And if you actually look closely at the armor, it has a diamond pattern that's very reflective when it hits the light. I also really enjoy these glowing tattoos he has on his arms, and also the bits here on his face, which just glow really brightly, and that's cool because this skin is very much all about the sun and bright things. There's a sun here on his belt, there's another one that's giant and makes up the backpack that he normally has, but there's also this glowing one made out of fire on his helmet that's just insane. The helmet itself is really cool as well, but my favorite part has got to be his hair. I like how it shifts between the yellow to this lime green to the standard glowing green Lucio base color. It's just got so many cool things about it that all work together to make this skin shine. There's not anything I hate or dislike about this skin, nothing I can even really nitpick. So in my humble opinion, the AllStar skin is by far Lucio's best. Hey there! Before I end this video, I just wanted to say that if you made it this far, I want to give you a personal shout out. If you like this video, then go ahead and hit the like button for me, and while you're at it, make sure you check out some of my other content available on this channel. If you really enjoyed this or any of my other videos, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our future content. Remember to leave a comment requesting the next DPS character to be ranked, because if you don't, I pick the character, and you may not like who I end up picking. You can see which characters we've already ranked by checking out our playlist on my channel page for these legendary skin rankings, so make sure if you request someone, it's one we haven't covered already. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, peace out.